Hello and welcome back to part 4 of my playthrough of GMT's tri-pack Battles of the American Revolution, Eutaw Springs. In the last video, it was a disastrous turn for the British. They lost their rifle unit and had the other unit pushed back because it was disrupted by the gallant push forward from up north of Swamp Fox. Down here, we saw Green attack the British and push them all the way back here. They are all disrupted, whereas Hampton didn't fare so well, but still a huge threat we have down here. Some horse units that may be going to make things a little worse for the British. However, I did forget once again to do a little thing on the old army morale track. So let's just put that right now. You may remember from the last video that Hampton attacked, but one of his units was disrupted, and I forgot to do the army morale adjustment for that. And you can see there suffer D +0/-1. That means the Americans lose an army morale. Unfortunately, the British don't get any, because if you remember, they are fatigued. The Americans lose a morale, and there we are. And we can now commence turn 5. The first thing to do for the start of turn 5 is to establish who has the initiative. And if you remember from just a minute ago, the Americans are still high morale, so they get a +1 to their initiative roll, but the Brits are fatigued, so they don't get any bonus to their initiative roll. So here we go. I think I used the wrong colours for a couple of the rolls in the last video, which may have something to do with the bad luck the Brits had. But anyway, we'll see. Red for Brits, blue for the Patriots, for the Americans. So here we go. +1 for the Americans. Oh, not much of a contest. 9, 10 for the Americans and 3 for the Brits. The Americans get the initiative and go first. So here we are at the turn track, and there we go. So the first part of the Americans' turn is the movement phase. They haven't any more reinforcements. And the next part, something we've not done, but is included in the movement phase, is that disrupted units may move 1 hex. So I think we have this disrupted unit here, the Pitkins Sumter unit here. I'm going to move it 1. I'm going to move it onto here. So that is that. Now it's sort of normal movement phase. So what I'll do is I'll have a think as normal, have a move of the Americans, and get right back. See you in a moment. That's the movement phase done. So what's happened? Well, I've moved up Hampton and Green, and they're going to be attacking possibly either these or these. We'll have a look in a minute. The horse has been moved around to further threaten up here, and the rifle unit and Swamp Fox chasing after that poor disrupted unit. And here we've got Washington's Dragoons harassing Marchbanks. So what's next? It's the rally phase, and for this we have this unit here which is disrupted, so we will have a go at rallying that. And for a successful rally, this unit has to throw 5 or more. Don't think it's got any. No, it's got a 0 morale, so no DRMs. They are high army morale, so nothing comes off of that. So it's just, just a 5 to rally. Let's see if they can do it. No, 3, they stay as they are. It is now defensive artillery phase, but the British artillery are disrupted and cannot fire. Oh, that was awkward. Next, rifle fire phase. That's up there. Let's go and have a look. Rifle fire phase. South Carolina militia rifles attacking the New York Volunteers. The rifles have an SP of 1, so that on the range fire to hit table, if you remember, being adjacent is 7, so they need a 7 or more to hit. Let's see. No, that's a 0. They miss. Now it's close combat phase, and while we're up here, we might as well do it. I've just shuffled these round because I don't think we're going to use the rifles to attack the poor volunteers there. So first thing is ratios. 2 to 2 it says, but volunteers are disrupted, so they can only defend with half their SP. So that is a 2 to 1 straight away. It's not looking good. The Americans add on Swamp Fox's morale, which is +1. And then we've got, there's no leaders, even though he's classed as a demi-leader for tactics only. Volunteers have a morale of 0, but as you know, they are fatigued, so they get -1 off their unit morale. So they get another +1. Also, any defending unit is disrupted or shattered. Yes, they get another +1. It is not looking good for the volunteers. I think that's everything. Let me just check. Now it's tactics. So the Americans have Swamp Fox as a leader for the purpose of tactics. So they are engaging with a leader. Opponent has no leader. Flank possible. Well, once again, we've got empty hexes adjacent to both units that are engaged. So yes, flank is possible, I would say. Withdraw plausible. Yes. So table 5 for the Americans. They throw a 5, and a 5 is attack on echelon. Now the Americans, they can only withdraw, so it's table 1 with the D8. 7. Skirmish. So what do we got? Attack on echelon, skirmish, -1. So one of those come off. So the upshot of there is we're throwing on a 2 to 1 with a DRM of +2. Here we go. 1 +2 is 3 on the 2 to 1. Oh, they're pinned. So they are pinned to the engagement. The pinned markers can be removed when it's the side's turn before close combat, but it will cost them an army morale. So I don't think the Brits can afford to do that. So that's that one out the way. What's next? Well, you live and learn with this game. I just spent all that time sorting out the pinned markers, and I've just seen in the rules all disrupted and shattered units on both sides are captured. So we don't do that. They're captured and go on the captured segment of the board. Oh, good grief. Right, what I think we'll do is have this stack attack the 64th foot. Green and Hampton are going to attack this stack and are using a diversion on this stack so they don't have to attack that big stack of coffins there. So I think what we'll do first, let's do this one. We have 4 to 3. That is a 1-to-1. Lead unit is going to be Lees, because they're a +1. No leaders. Now we look at these guys. They've got a morale of 0. But remember, they are fatigued, so they get a -1. That means, of course, we get a +1 for the Americans. Don't think there's any other DRMs. They're not militia. Let me just check. No, I think it's just the old tactics. So we'll put that there. For the Americans, attacking, they can't, there's no leader, so it's just withdraw plausible. Yes, I think we're both on table 1 there. Yep, table 1, so that's a D8. For the Americans then, it is, oh, that's a 7. Yeah, we can see that's 7, and that is skirmish. So just make a note of that. And for the Americans, a 1. Withdraw. Ooh, what's that? Skirmish and withdraw. No combat. Some of these, no combat. Where are we? Skirmish and withdraw. No combat. And that means what it says. No combat. Ooh. Next one, Hampton and Green against this. We're using a diversion, so we don't have to attack this, so we don't have to split our forces. So let's have a look. 2, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the Brits, 10 to 6. 10 to 6 is a 3 to 2 ratio, I believe. But because we are using a diversion, that goes down to 1 to 1. Here we are. There we go. Lead units. Let's have a look. For the Americans, nothing much good there. Brits, +1. Oh, we'll use the Maryland Brigade. They've got a +2 morale. They are full army morale. And the leaders. Now, we've got 2 leaders here, and I think, tell me if I'm wrong, if they're on different stacks, they can apply their combat DRM together. So I think, let me just doubly check that. Yeah, I'm going to take that as okay, because the rules sort of say you add the combat DRM to all units stacked with it. So we've got 2 stacked together. So we're going to add +2. 1 from each. Now it's the Brits. We'll use the Delancey unit as the lead unit. So that's a +1, but they get a -1, so that's 0, so that's nothing. That, I think, is it. It's now tactics. Well, the Americans are attacking with leaders, and the opponent has no leader. Is flanking possible? Well, this way we've got this hex here, and this way we've got this hex here. So I should say yes. Withdraw plausible for the Americans, yes. Table 5. That's used a heck of a lot. Let's just pop that there, see if we can do it. Table 5 is a D10. 6. And that is attack on echelon. The Americans can only withdraw, they have no leader. So that's table 1, D8. They throw a 5. That's attack on echelon, so that's going to be nothing when they're both the same. There is no DRM. Right, so that is it. 1-1 with a +4. Let's see. They throw a 6. +4 is 10, of course. Ooh. 1-1. Step loss. That's of the lead unit. Oh, it does get reduced. There's now not much left of it. The other unit, of course, has to make a morale check. He has a +1 morale, so that is reduced to 0 because the Brits are fatigued and they lose a -1 on their unit morale. So they need a 5 or more. 9. They're okay, they stay there. The Americans also get another momentum chip because there was that little dot next to the 10. So another one of them. Must remember to use them. And now there is army morale adjustment because there was a step loss. +1, -1. So I'll do that. The Americans are up to full whack again at 15. And the Brits move down to 8. Oh dear. I'll get tidied up and we'll do the next one. The last close combat to do is Washington's Dragoons with Marchbanks and the light infantry. Now, if you remember, they have a 2, which means they have an SP of 2 if they attack alone. The light infantry have an SP of 2, so that is 1-1. The lead unit, of course, is the Washington's Dragoons, so he has a +1 morale. Don't think there's any other DRMs for the attacker. No. The lead unit for the Brits, of course, is the light infantry with a +2 morale, but they are fatigued, so they only get a +1 morale, which turns into -1 here. And, of course, we've got Marchbanks. I don't think there's any DRMs for the defenders. No, it is now tactics. So, the Washington Dragoons are on their Todd, and they can only use engage without a leader, withdraw plausible. So table 1, and they get a 4, and that is stand fast. Whoa, they're getting a bit brave. The Brits are engaging with a leader. Opponent has no leader. Flank possible. Well, here we are. Can't use that, but we could use that. So flank is possible. Withdraw plausible, yes. Table 5. They throw an 8. Frontal assault. Oh, this is going to be bloody. Let's have a look. Stand fast. Frontal assault. They get a +1. Right. What does that all add up to? That cancels out. So we're just on a 1-1, as is for the Americans. Let's see how they do. Oh, no! They throw a 0. Oh, in my excitement, I knocked the camera over. We were just about to look up the result of a 0 throw for the Washington Dragoons on a 1-1. Let's have a look. 0. Oh, it's a step loss. And I believe, yes, they can't lose a step, so they are eliminated. And the Brits move in. We also have to do the army morale because of that. And here we are. +1 for the Brits, -1 for the Americans. Americans come down to 15, Brits go up to 9. They're creeping back. That is the end of the close combat. It is now the Brits' turn, so we're going to turn this over and see what lies in store for the British. Things are not looking great for the British in turn 5, so let's see how they fare. The first part is the movement phase, and within that we can move the British disrupted units 1 hex, so we'll move these in the hope that they can be rallied during the rally phase and help defend this broken line of Brits. Right, next thing is the movement phase. So what I'll do, I'll have a think and I'll come straight back. Okay, I've moved the Brits. I just want to say that I've had a chance to have a quick look at the bit before, and no, I shouldn't have moved. I made note of it in the video, but I shouldn't have moved Marchbanks, advanced him after combat, because defending units never do that. And the other thing, of course, is use those momentums. I keep forgetting. Don't you forget, because they can make a difference. Although the Americans are having a whale of a time anyway, so there we go. So what have we done? Well, I've moved out the horse because I'm getting a little concerned about these horse units here. I've moved the 64th around to here to bolster our meagre defence, but that does mean that this is now open. I've left Stewart in the HQ because they have a better defence actually in that HQ as well. So I think that's about it. The next phase is the rally phase. We have these units here. The 2nd Royal Highlanders and the light artillery, so we'll bring that round and see if we can rally them this time. For the light artillery, they have a morale of +1, but that gets negated by the fact that the Brits are fatigued, so they've got to throw a 5 or more as is. See if we can rally this artillery. 3. Dear oh law. No. Now the 2nd Royal Highlanders, they are with a morale of 0, but it's going to be a -1 on their throw. So 5 or more with a -1. 1. They just don't want to rally, and I think that's going to be our undoing. Right, defensive artillery phase. This is the only artillery in range, but their only target is in the forest, so can't be targeted. The next phase is the rifle phase, but they're up there and they have nothing to shoot at, so that's done. Now it's close combat. Here we go. Well, there's not much the Brits can do, except maybe, let's have a look what we've got here. We've got Marchbanks with 6. We've got 3, 4 there. Coffin 4. Not sure if I should really be looking, but hey ho, I'm playing solo, so as I say, the Brits need all the help they can get. So there we go. Right. 4, 6. Okay. I think what we'll have, we'll do this. We'll have this stack with Marchbanks attack Hampton, and we'll have these 2 stacks attack Green. Right. First of which I think we'll do is Hampton. So moved around a bit and zoomed in. Let's see what we got. 6. To 4. 6 to 4, I believe, is 3 to 2. Lead unit. Light infantry has a morale of +2, but because they are fatigued, it's only a +1. And a +1 for Marchbanks. Now Hampton. Or we'll use this one. Morale of 0, so nothing added there, but -1 for Hampton himself. Let me just check there's no other DRMs, close combat DRMs. Doesn't look like it. No, just the tactics. So, what have we got? We've got engage with a leader. Yes, the Brits are engaging with Marchbanks, of course. Opponent has a leader, yes. Flank possible, here I suppose. And withdraw plausible, yes. And I think that's applicable to both sides, so that's table 9. Right, let's have a look. D8. 3. 3 is attack on echelon. And the Americans... 8. Refuse flank. Ooh. Attack on echelon. Refuse flank is a +1 for the Brits. Okay. Here we go. Fingers crossed on the 3 to 2 with a +2. I think that works out at 3 to 2 with a +2. 6. +2. That's quite a good threat. What do you mean? What? You're having a laugh, aren't you? Right, got to throw again. 3 to 2 with a +2. 8, there you go. Being a bit cavalier with those, aren't you? But you're out of them now. Try again. 3 to 2 with a +2. 8! Yes, that'll teach you to use your momentums flippantly. So, 3 to 2 with a +2 is, of course, 10. What do we got? Oh! That's a 1-step loss and a leader casualty. About time the Brits had some luck. So, let's just move this out the way. So this was their lead unit. They are step lossy. So they go down. And Hampton is eliminated. Now we have to look on the army morale adjustments. Step loss. Oh, +1 for the Brits, -1 for the Americans. So they go down to 14 and the Brits go up to 10. They just need one more. But there was also a leader loss, leader casualty. So we look on here and we find our leader that was eliminated. Eutaw Springs, Hampton. Nothing for the Brits, but another morale loss for the Americans. They're down to 13. About time the Brits had some good luck. Right, let's do this one. Well, before we do that, I forgot again in my excitement that we threw a 10. So, the Brits get a momentum. Right, I've tidied up, but in my excitement I forgot that because of the step loss, this unit has to make a morale check. So, it's on a -1 morale, the North Carolina militia. 5 or more, -1. 5 -1 is 4. They do not make it. They retreat, leaving the poor old Palmetto Foot all alone. Right, let's do the other one. What have we got here? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Against 3, 6. 8 to 6. I think it's a 1-to-1. But we'll see. 1-to-1. Not quite 3-to-2. Lead unit. Oh, not much there. It's going to have to be, well, let's use Delancey, so if anything happens, they're all zeros and -1s. So not great morale for these troops, but because the Brits are still fatigued, it is a -1. But a +1 for Coffin. Can't see that very well. Green. Oh, he's got them blooming Maryland brigades. The bane of the Brits. So he'll be using them. So that's a -2. And a -1 for Green himself. Tactics. Engage with a leader. Opponent has leader. Flank possible. Well, yes, here. Withdraw plausible. Yes, again, table 9. That's going to be a D8. So, let's just bring that here. For the Brits, 7. Turn flank. Americans, 6. Commit reserve. Turn flank. Commit reserve. Oh, no. -1. So, lots of numbers here. What do we got? -1, 0, -2, -3, -4. No, can't be right. -4. Okay. On the 1-to-1. Wish the boys luck. 9! -4. Excuse me. 9 -4 is 5. And on to 1-to-1. Pin. There we go. They are pinned to that engagement. The Americans on their go can unpin themselves, if you like, move away and remove the pin, but it will cost them 1 morale. So we'll see what they're going to do in a minute. I was hoping for a bit better success, but the thing that maths was against us with the odds there. So, but a good result from Marchbanks. He's earned his dinner tonight. So I think we'll leave it there. I hope you're still enjoying it. It's a great fun game. It's a blast to play this game. I hope that's coming across. So, Until next time, that'll be turn 6 and part 5, yes. If you have enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and pushing the like button. It does help the little channel, as I say. And thank you also, as always, to my subscribers. Thank you. So, a little fight back from the Brits there, but they are still in danger. So, till then, you take care and goodbye.